Finally, we are back, and hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Off Track TV. My name is The Voice, Shane Andrews, and usually I am joined in studio by Dan Kapuscinski. He is someplace in Buffalo. He's going to be calling in. We'll be talking to him, so he will be a part of this show here tonight. Welcome back, everybody, from the Weedsport production studios here in Weedsport, New York, at the port. Oh, man, what a great show we have for you tonight. You know, we always look forward to seeing your questions, so make sure you get a hold of us. You can find us at info@weedsportproductions.com or on Facebook, or you can hit me up on Twitter at nyvoice13, and you can even hit Dan up on Twitter. I don't know his Twitter handle off the top of my head because he usually takes care of that in this portion of the show. But like I said, he will be joining us here this evening. And also like us on the Facebook page. There it is, Dan_Kapuscinski. So you can hit him on Twitter as well. We have a pretty busy weekend here at the Weedsport Speedway coming up, but it's been a busy week for the Super Dirt Car Series. Last Saturday night, Lebanon Valley Speedway, the Mr. Dirt Track USA 2.0, $25,500 on the line for the winner of this 100-lap event. Early on in the event, Andy Becchetti in the number 4 trying to get through traffic, but it's right there, the leader of the race, Mike Mahaney, losing his brakes going into turn number 3, losing the lead. Becchetti would chase after Larry White, who had the chance to win an extra $5,000 if he could pull it off, but he would not do it on this night, as the wild child, Andy Becchetti in the fork machine, would take over the number 1 position. Later on, restart, Becchetti once again out in front, but here comes Matt Shepard in that 9S and the 44 of Stuart Friesen. Now Tyler Dipple in the 1 car gets to the inside of the 9S of Shepard, as Billy Decker in the 91 able to get by. Shepard and Dipple would beat and bang on one another. Change of the race right here. Larry White, did he not fire? Or did Andy Becchetti jump the start? Well, the yellow lights would come on, and it would be ruled that Andy Becchetti jumped the start. So what would this do? Well, we would see Tyler Dipple go around. He would go to the pits. That would put Becchetti back 1 row with now Larry White and Stuart Friesen up on the front row, and Stuart Friesen would take over the number 1 spot. Friesen looking for his 6th Super Dirt Car Series win of the year. Could he pull it off? Larry White now 2nd, Andy Becchetti obviously not happy with that call, back to 3rd. Restart with 10 to go. Friesen leads. Here comes Becchetti to the inside, off the corner, contact! As the Friesen 44 shuffled back to 2nd, Becchetti would now become your race leader. Andy Becchetti would then hold off Stuart Friesen on a green-white checker restart. Becchetti in the 4 car, able to pull away from the Friesen number 44. Matt Shepard right there for the number 2 position. He would close in on Friesen. Here with the move off the corner, he would take over the number 2 spot. And this is the way that it would end. The wild child, Andy Becchetti, out of Sheffield, Massachusetts, picks up his 4th Mr. Dirt Track USA, this one paying $25,500. A bit of redemption for the wild child after that 1 restart. So Andy Becchetti wins it. Matt Shepard 2nd. Stuart Friesen comes home in position number 3. So a very busy weekend for the Super Dirt Car Series down there at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. As a matter of fact, the Super Dirt Car Series will be in action for 2 shows this weekend at the Weedsport Speedway, which we will talk about a little bit later on in our show. But coming up next, we have a very special guest right here in-house with us. He is the champion of the Empire Super Sprints, and he is also going to be racing here this weekend for the Cavalcade Cup. When we return, racing Jason Barney is in the house here at Off Track TV Live.
Weedsport Speedway is home of the fastest cars and biggest stars. With over $1 million in recent upgrades, our fans know this is the premier race destination in the Northeast. The fan experience is at the forefront of everything we do. LED light shows, luxury suites, premium stadium seating, and a 27-foot HD video display to engage and entertain fans. And by the way, our fans, our fans kick ass. They are committed and loyal. They bring their families to races. They consistently engage with us over social media, on our website, and tune into our incredible productions airing on national TV and streaming online. This year features an exciting season of events. It's a blast to go fast. Want to talk to a growing audience and next-generation fans? Customized sponsorship opportunities make it super easy. We have event sponsorships, product sponsorships, digital billboards, web, social, digital ads, race day displays and signage, booths and promotions. Video opportunities both in-venue, on national TV, and streaming online. The drivers, the excitement, the speed. The Port Burgers are why fans show up. At Weedsport Speedway, our venue and production are the reason they keep coming back. Be a part of the best season yet.
The Chevy Silverado Trail Boss. When you have a 2-inch lift. When you have Goodyear Duratrack tires. When you have Rancho shocks and an integrated dual exhaust. When you have all that, the last thing you'll need is a road. The Chevy Silverado Trail Boss, ready to off-road, right from the factory.
See your Central New York Chevy dealers.
Welcome back to Off Track TV Live. My name is Shane Andrews. Joining us here in studio, driver of the Pit Stop Convenience Store, E&V Energy, number 87, Empire Super Sprint 360 Sprint Car, Jason Barney. Jason, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Great to have you here. Hey, I think we may have Dan Kapuscinski. Has he joined us here? Dan, you got us?
Shane, you got me?
Hey, Dan, how are you?
I'm doing well. We're just out here getting ready to enjoy a wedding weekend out here in Buffalo. So I'm sorry I can't be there with you guys today, but wanted to make sure to call in and still be a part of the program as much as I could.
Well, we're glad to have you. And before we get into talking with Jason, want to take this opportunity. Dan is the 2021 Small Block Super Track Champion at the Oswego Speedway. Congratulations, buddy.
Oh, thanks, Shane. It's great. It feels really good. Fortunately, we didn't have the classic weekend that we had hoped we were going to have. We were second fastest, but had overheating issues about halfway through the race. But it doesn't take away from the fantastic year that we had, and it feels really good to have that title for sure.
Well, I was going to wear my Danny K shirt tonight, but I couldn't. I had to wear my Weedsport production shirt, so I'll wear it next time. Hey, we've got a great guest here with us tonight, Jason Barney. Jason, welcome. Dan's in your ear. I'm right here. Let's get things started. First and foremost, 4 wins on the season so far on the tour, 3 at Fulton, 1 at Thunder Mountain. What do you got to do to put the 87 in victory lane here on Sunday at Weedsport?
You just got to have everything go right from the time you pull in. You got to time trial well. You got to get a good invert for your heat race, and then do the right things in the feature. The track is very challenging, and the competition is very good. So you got to do everything right every time you're on the racetrack.
Well, Jason, those stats Shane just listed off, obviously 3 wins at Fulton. You've got a lot of wins there in your career. What is it about Fulton Speedway that's worked out for you so well?
Just comfortable there. Started there racing sportsman in 95. Spent 3 years or full time with sportsman and some modified racing. So anytime I go there, I just feel comfortable and confident. And after you win a few, you just rely on your notebook and experience and hope for have the right opportunity.
We've seen a lot of drivers make the transition over from the sportsman and modified rinks over to these sprint cars. Why do you see Why do you think we see that kind of transition?
For me, I still enjoy modifieds. I'm still a fan. I still would like to do modified racing, but the schedule of the sprint cars and not the grind of the weekly racetrack was very appealing. When you have a family or you're running a business or you want to have weekends away, it's hard to be a local race team. So to be able to race 35, 40 times and still have some weekends off, it was the perfect fit for me. And I think it's the same for a lot of the guys that transitioned to sprint car.
Well, and obviously too, Jason, competition-wise, the modified ranks obviously very competitive, but the competition you run with up and down the thruway and across New York State is obviously very stout on the ESS tour as well. Talk about that a little bit.
It is. It's very competitive. I think it's as good as it's been since I was started in 2006 as far as depth. Not having Steve with us this year takes a little bit of the glam away. I mean, he's obviously the best and still is the best in my opinion, but Paulie has stepped up, and there's other guys right there. Danny is just as good as anybody else, and to have Larry White run with you on a semi-regular basis, there's two guys that are proven to be as good in the modified as anybody else. So, we have good race cars and good race teams, and it's just it gets more and more competitive, and everybody steps it up every year.
When you mention Steve, you're referencing Steve Poirier, multi-time series champion and feature winner. And that leads me to this question, Jason, is this year the Empire Super Sprints, like every other racing division in the United States, has been affected by COVID and unable to travel across the Canadian border. And there were some big events for the Empire Super Sprints in Canada and not being able to race with them. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the bigger events up there?
Yeah, for me, it takes a little of the shine out of it. I want to win a championship the same way that Steve Poirier did. When I say Steve, it's like saying the Babe to us. He's just Steve. So, I want to win the way that he did, way that Woodring did, the way that anybody did, and that's a full schedule. Obviously, we can't do that right now, so we're happy to have what we have. But the big highlights of our season are, Speed Week, and I think the Quebec trips are very big. The fans are huge, the competition is good, and then, we really miss the Canadian Nationals. That's what I compare it to, like our Victoria 200 here. You get a bunch of guys from a different bunch of groups together and one neutral racetrack that's as good as anywhere, and you can race from anywhere, and that's our gem. That's our crown jewel in racing, is what I think.
Well, Jason, obviously coming up Sunday, the championship finale, and of course it's the end of a big weekend of racing at Weedsport. We talk all the time about the uniqueness of Weedsport Speedway, but it's not often that we talk to a sprint car driver necessarily on this show. How unique is it from a sprint car driver's perspective?
It is. It's different. Obviously, turn one is hard for everyone, and as I've progressed, I've won in a sportsman, I won in a big block, and a sprint car. It's just turn one gets faster and faster as you kind of progress through the ranks. So in a sprint car, you got to keep telling yourself not to overdrive the corner. So you want to go fast, but you've got to be consistent and not make a mistake. And you can do that pretty easily here.
I know you want to win at every racetrack you go to, but how much more emphasis do you put on racing and wanting to win here at Weedsport?
As much or probably more than most. I think it's a place that gets a lot of attention, and we do race here with Super Dirt Series on a regular basis, so that kind of adds to the show and puts more eyes on what you're doing and your race team and your equipment. So it's important to me. And, the production that they do it's pretty unique. And for us to be able to be a part of that is pretty special. Victory Hill is there's nothing else like it. So you want to be up there. You know, you get kind of bummed out when you see somebody else standing up there.
Right.
But I look forward to it. It's a challenge. It's a place I'm comfortable at, place I feel that we can be competitive at. And now that it's the series ending race, I think that it's the perfect spot for it, and look forward to the challenge of it.
Well, Jason, one thing I've always taken note of as well in watching you race through the years, and especially in this black 87 machine we're just watching on the screen here, is the professionalism and the beauty of that race car and how great it looks. Give us a little bit of an idea, of what the race car is, who you have behind you, and the effort that goes into keeping a race car look as immaculate as that machine is.
Well, you know how to get to me. That's nobody could say anything nicer to me than that. We do take a lot of pride in it. It's my everything. You know, I'm not a professional race car driver, but I am in the racing business, and it's a family business. So we take pride in that, and you know, our product is a representative of us, and also a representative of the equipment, the products we have on the car, and the sponsors that we have in the car. We have some very long-term sponsors that have been with me, with ENV Energy and Pit Stop Convenience Stores and X1 Race Cars. And, you know, I feel responsibility to represent them in the best way possible. And there's no better way to show your appreciation than to keep something nice and to keep it classy.
And that obviously reflects on the relationship you've had with them. You have been involved with ENV Energy and Pit Stop Convenience Stores, if I remember correctly, from when you first started racing Sportsman.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Case is my best friend, and couldn't do it without him, and wouldn't want to do it without him. So the day he's done is the day I've had enough, and we make a great team, and he's, you know, is interested in, you know, important to my race team as anything else. So to have great partners like that, nobody in this business is going to be able to keep racing without having good people behind you. And I've been lucky to have some really good ones for a really long time.
Well, Jason, real quick, this will be my last one, but you know, you talk about the sportsman racing, the modified racing, and obviously all you've done in sprint cars. You've run at the Moody Mile. What is on the, I guess let's just say, the bucket list for Jason Barney? What's something that hasn't happened yet in your career that you would love to make happen?
Oh man, I don't know. Let's get through this weekend and maybe add another championship, and I'd be thrilled with that. I'm pretty good at giving those away, so I'm going to try to just get through the weekend. It's going to be a tough weekend and tough competition, 2 tough racetracks, so that's important to us right now. And then from there, I don't really know. There's a lot of things I would like to do, and it changes all the time. You know, I spent some of the winter thinking about going back modified racing, a little bit racing. I would like to be a car owner. I would like to have my son drive a car for a little while. I would like to do all the above. So just not enough time in the day to do all the things I would love to do.
Well, as a car owner and putting your son behind the wheel, I would be remiss if I didn't ask about this and tell everybody that I like to dabble into a little bit of iRacing. And there's an individual, when I see that number 87 sprint car come on the screen, that I know is going to whoop my butt. Your son's pretty damn good behind the wheel of iRacing. What tips have you shown him or told him, or is it just a natural progression for him?
I just like to give him a hard time as much as he gives me a hard time. So at any chance I can tell him he was doing something wrong, I enjoy it. But it's very fun. I love to follow you guys through the winter and watch do it. It's very realistic. It's very similar to what we do, and it gives another bond and camaraderie between me and him, and something that we can enjoy doing together. He watches me 40 times a year, so if I get to watch him 10 in the winter, it's pretty cool. You also, I want to share this. You made the comment when we were talking, when you first got to the studio, that there's nobody you would rather have at the racetrack pushing you off and telling you what to do and on that first lap than your son. Yeah, he's just watched every lap that I've ever made pretty much. I mean, he's missed some races here, but He knows me, and he knows how I like to drive the race car, and he gives me good advice. And I have great guys, Case, Brandon, they all support me in different ways. But when it comes to driving the car, I appreciate his input just because he's seen so many laps of mine made. And it's helpful. Sometimes you got to bite your tongue, and I'm sure he does at times too, but I appreciate his input.
Well, Jason, we appreciate you joining us here on Off Track TV. We look forward to seeing you this Sunday. It is E&V Energy Pit Stop Convenience Store night here at the track. You're looking for that second title, and we wish you all the best, and thanks for coming out here tonight.
Thank you for having us. I look forward to this weekend.
Jason Barney, driver of the number 87 Empire Super Sprint. He'll be in action this Sunday, September 12th, right here at the Weedsport Speedway. When we return, we're going to take your questions and tell you about a few other things coming up. But first, before we go to break, we want to take this opportunity and we want to extend our deepest condolences and sympathies to the family of Harvey Fink. Harvey Fink was a longtime promoter here in Central New York, owning the Brewerton and Fulton Speedways. As a matter of fact, Harvey and I were pretty close. I worked for him for 14 years at both of those speedways. And on behalf of Weedsport Productions and everybody here in the Northeast, we pass our condolences along to his beautiful wife, Joan, and his children, Lori, David, Eric, and Larry, countless grandchildren, and countless great-grandchildren. Harvey, we love you, and you will be missed. Anniversary of 9/11. We'll be paying a special tribute to those fallen individuals on that day. But on the night, we are going to have a 60-lap, $7,500 to win, Big Block Modified Super Dirt Car Series event. We're going to have the Pro Stock Super Dirt Car Series in town for the first time in a couple of years. They're going to have a 30-lap event, $1,000 to win. And we're also going to have the Dirt Car Sportsman on hand, 30 laps, $1,000 to win. That is all coming up on Saturday the 11th. Now, you know what it's like here at the Weedsport Speedway. When you come into town, you know you're going to be entertained. Obviously, we're going to have pre-race entertainment. We're also going to have entertainment on the Speedway. We're also going to have entertainment after the show as well. So if you're camping or hanging out, we're going to have plenty of activities for you all day and all night long on Saturday, September 11th. Sunday, September 12th, we're going to kick it up a notch. 100 laps for the Super Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifieds, $10,000 to win and a guaranteed starting spot for the Napa Auto Parts Super Dirt Week Billy Whitaker Cars and Trucks 200 coming up at Oswego on Sunday, October 10th. As we talked about, the Empire Super Sprints are going to be here, 25 laps for the ESS, their second appearance of 2021. And then we are going to have the Sterling Lubricants Sportsman Champions Challenge. This is 25 laps, $1,000 to win, plus a guaranteed starting position for the Weedsport Sportsman Super Dirt Week Kickoff Tour Race on Wednesday, October 6th. What we have done is we've extended invitations out to sportsman campaigners, 26 of them, throughout central New York. 26 drivers will be here for the sportsman event, and we will also add in 4 drivers from Saturday Night Sportsman Race to give us a 30-car field for a $1,000 to win race on Sunday, the 12th of September. The Cavalcade Cup weekend right here at Weedsport Speedway. I personally invite all of you to come out and see us, and I hope you'll make it a point to get to the port this weekend. As we always do, we take your questions at the towards the end of our show, and with Dan not here tonight, I'm going to be the one that's going to have to wax poetic on these questions, so bear with me. Will he is 45. Okay, apparently he is 45. Wants to know, will the Cartway be running any more races this year? Will, the answer is yes. Coming up on September 19th, we are going to have the James Schutz Memorial. That is when the short port will take back to action. That is coming up on September 19th. Dan can tell you more about that, but check out weedsportspeedway.com for more information on the short port. Co63 asks, how much does the dynamic of Super Dirt Week change with Brewerton now running 2 nights? Well, Co63, that's a very good question, but 2 different dynamics. The first race that's always been on the schedule is the Hurricane 100. That's the Thursday night show. That's a 100-lap race for the Super Dirt Car Series 358 Modifieds. Now, with the Big Blocks raining out the Super Dirt Car Series event for the Big Blocks earlier this month, that race has been moved to Tuesday, October 5th. So we're going to kick off Super Dirt Week at the Brewerton Speedway with the Big Blocks. How does it change the dynamic? Well, first and foremost, I think it ups the ante for everybody. Now you've got an extra night of racing on Super Dirt Week, and it's for the big blocks. Traditionally, the big blocks don't usually race any satellite events during Super Dirt Week. You see them only, well, in the past on the mile, and now at Oswego Speedway. And the 358 Sportsman and Pro Stocks did some ancillary racing. But this year, it ups the notch for the big blocks because it is going to be a guaranteed starting spot, $10,000 to win race at the Brewerton Speedway on October 5th. So it does add to the dynamic. Great question, Co63. Wilma Chaser 5 wants to know, can Chuck Hebing win again at Weedsport with the ESS? Well, I think the answer is yes, but I also think he's going to have his hands full. I think it's going to have his hands full with number 1, Jason Barney, who's looking to wrap up that title. Paulie Colagiovanni, who is also in the hunt for the title as well, plus a slew of other drivers. Do I think the Cobra can get it done? Yes, but I think he's going to have some very stiff competition, and you'll just have to come to the port on Sunday to see how that plays out. Our next off-track TV show comes up on Thursday, September 30th, right here from the Weedsport Production Studio in Weedsport, New York, and we hope that you will join us. Well, that's it for this one, ladies and gentlemen, and it's time to bid farewell. For everybody here at Weedsport Productions, for Brett Moses behind the camera and behind the switchboard making us look and sound good, for Danny Kaye calling in from Buffalo, a big thanks to our guest, Jason Barney. My name is The Voice, Shane Andrews, saying thank you for joining us, and we'll see you this weekend at Weedsport for the Cavalcade Cup.